Hey everybody, Jason here for More Than Rewards. Chances are if you're getting this email and watching this video, it means that you've been selected to receive access to our new marketing system that we had scheduled to be coming out in January. Before we begin and before you understand, I want you to understand why that's happening. What we've been doing is providing this to a select group of people that that have experienced problems. Basically, what is happening right now is that all of the carriers are changing the way they do their text messaging. And if you Google something called 10DLC, you can read all about it. All right. Essentially, what this is all the carriers are getting together and they're trying to stop spam or marketing messages to be going out. So in the past, when you would send a text message out, as long as the customer opted in and you had proof that they had opted in, you would comply with the they call it the TCPA Act, Telephone Communications Protection Act. You were in compliance with that. You were good. If you didn't do that, you could get into a lot of trouble, right? Now they've changed it even more. Now what they're doing is this 10 DLC certification. All right. So what this means is that your phone number needs to be certified with the carriers as being a mass marketing number with your company, meaning that your company is tied to your phone number. Because if you're spamming customers and you're sending out messages, they want to know who's doing it and what company is doing it and where it's coming from. So they're providing this sort of certification link. If you don't have this and you're sending messages out through a non-certified number that's not tied to your business, it could result in delayed messages. It could result in dropped messages. It could result in all sorts of problems. Now, this was not supposed to happen until January and from the carriers, but we've started to see that this is happening earlier and earlier, which is probably why you're getting this message, because you need a solution to be able to text your customers. All right. So the short answer is our new system that we've created, our new marketing system, supports these 10 DLC phone numbers. They're special numbers that have been certified for mass texting, right? So in the past, the only way you could do a mass texting number was with a short code, which was like a 4-digit or 5-digit phone number, right? And then if you were using a long code, which is a normal 10-digit number, right, it would work, but it would be slower. So the messages would be delayed. It could take up to an hour to get through, say, 1,000 messages, right? So what some carriers would do to sort of skirt the system is they would rotate short codes. So they'd have like a pool of rotate long codes. So they'd have a pool of phone numbers and they would like round robin them from this pool to this pool to that pool, right? To try to get them to go quicker. Some companies would use shared short codes, which is what a lot of them will do. So essentially what they would do is everybody would use a short code, would use the same number. So all the numbers were coming from the same number. So your competitor, everybody was using the same phone number. Very confusing for customers because they would get a number from, dealer 123, and then get another dealer from, dealer 456, and it would be the exact same number. And if the dealer didn't put in the message, like the name of their dealership, they'd be like, is this coming from dealer one or is this coming from dealer two? So short codes are very confusing. Shared short codes are very confusing, which is why at More Than Rewards, we've never really used them and we've never really promoted them. We've always said you should use long codes, especially with the volume that most dealers are doing, because usually most dealers are usually doing, 1,000 texts a month or something like that. Well, now with COVID and everything else, more and more dealers are doing more texting and more of this sort of next level communication. So their lists are getting bigger and bigger. Well, with that, now you really need to comply with some other rules as your list gets big, because you want your messages to go out in a timely fashion and you want to comply with the rules. So they've introduced these new numbers called 10 DLC numbers. They're a little bit more expensive. And there's a certification process that you have to go through. Now, we can help you with that. There's a form that you fill out. We can send it to you. We'll get it to you to send out. You essentially fill it out with your business name and you apply for 10 DLC certification. And then once you're certified, you just have to keep your certification renewal every month. We can take care of all of that for you. There's nothing you have to do. But what it does mean is that there is a price to it. I think the certification is a couple $100 as a one-time fee, and then there's an ongoing monthly fee of, I think, between $20 to $30 a month or something like that, just to maintain that certification as well. So whether you go with us or you go with another company or whatever you do, you need to do this. And if you don't do this, right, and you just sort of wing it and try to like go with some other company's 10-digit number or go with another company short code number, you're going to run into problems by not having this certification, because after January, they are going to start really tightening the belt. So if you think you're running into problems now, getting blocked or having delayed messages, wait until January, it'll get even worse. So you really need to get this thing taken care of, and we can help you with that. Okay. So assume that's all good. Assume you know it's coming. There'll be more videos we'll put out on that and explain this whole 10 DLC thing. We'll let dealers apply for it. We'll send you the form. We'll get you all squared up and set away. What we've done in the short term, right, is we've pre-registered phone numbers under this 10 DLC Certification Act. So we've already got numbers that are sort of set up and pooled and ready to go into our new system. Right now, the problem is they're tied to our company, and then we list you guys as a secondary user. So we really need to have you sort of be the owner of that number. So we are going to be migrating that number to like your ownership. So it'll be under your name, because right now it's under our name. But we want to get you guys up and going with the holidays so you can start texting people out and you're not going to have any problems. All right. And that's what I'm going to show you today. I'm going to show you the new marketing system, how this thing works. It is really cool. It works really well. It's built on a completely different platform. It works and looks totally different. Plus, it's got some features in it that nobody else has, and the other thing doesn't have as well, which you might actually really like. So there is a different credit system with it, though, as opposed to the old system. So it has a different style way of keeping track of the credits. Essentially, you buy credits, and then you can use these credits for different types of media. So there's a cost of a credit for sending a text message out, an SMS. That's one cost. We also support MMS, which is so SMS and MMS. SMS is just text, and it's around 70 characters long. MMS is like these long messages, like what you have on your iPhone or Android phone, that you can just type, right? And you can attach photos and embed photos and videos and things like that, emojis, all that kind of crazy stuff. That's MMS. All right. MMS costs more than SMS, right? That's the other thing. But you essentially can do MMS or SMS, right? The other thing that you're going to be able to do, so you'll see there's SMS and there's MMS. The other thing that you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to buy numbers, so you can create as many numbers as you want. So if you have a billboard and you want to create like a campaign to say like, call this number, and when you call this number, have it forward to the dealer number, right? So that you can track clicks of how many people are calling that number and how effective that billboard campaign is that you did. Or maybe you're doing a radio ad or a TV ad and you need like a temporary, like throwaway number, right? You can buy a number for like a month, use this in an ad campaign, and then look at the analytics on it and then throw it away when you're done. So we have this numbering pool that you can get as well. The other thing that we've got is we've got the ability to do voice drops. So this is so that you can do robocalls. So if you ever do things like a service reminder that says like, hey, it's been a year, your service warranty is about to expire, come into the dealership to renew your service warranty. That's a good example of a voice drop. You essentially can load phone numbers into it, do a pre-recorded message, and it'll do a voice blast out. And then the other thing that I think is really super cool is we now support letters and postcards. I know direct mailing is kind of dying out, and more and more people are going digital and going text, but they did that because of cost. Well, texting is becoming more and more expensive now because of this 10 DLC thing. So direct mail may not be as bad as it once was when you start comparing the numbers and everything. There's probably always a place. So we've got this system now where you can essentially send a letter, return address letter. So if you want to send like an envelope out and have somebody send something back to you, or postcards, and they're printed on full color cardstock, full color letters, and all the postage and everything is taken care of. They're all stuffed and sent out. All you do is you upload a CSV of your mailing list and you ship them out. This is super useful for like service departments who want to keep their CI scores up and send out like a post survey to somebody in the mail, or a questionnaire after the vehicle sale. So if you sell a vehicle and you want to send out like a package or a survey or a reminder, like to maybe come in and get that extended warranty, right? That is where it can be useful. But it's in the system now, and everything is based on your balance and your credit system. Everything costs a credit. So you'll see like there's an SMS credit, an MMS credit, there's a postcard credit, there's a letter sending credit, there's a voice drop credit, there's a phone number credit. Um, each of those is a different credit. And then all you do is you just add balance, you add money to your pool of money, and then you use that money to whatever you want. So you can use a text blast, you can, do voice, you can do email, you can do whatever. So all that stuff is sort of built into the new marketing system. And the idea is that this system would allow you to directly market to all of your customers, create lists, and do all that stuff. All right. Okay. So now that you kind of know the high level of it, let me just walk you through this. Okay. So when you're looking at the statistics, way more stats now. You've got outbound and inbound and voice stats. You can see it right here as it comes in and out. You'll see it on the chart as it will appear. All right. When you go into your contact section, you have the ability to, you're going to see two lists. There's a dealer news list, and then there is a opt-out list. Okay. The opt-out list is if somebody replies back, stop, they'll go into the opt-out list. All right. We've already migrated you over from the old system, which is why you have 0 opt-out, but chances are you had a whole bunch of people that were opt-out from the old system. We did not bring those into your opt-out list. Okay. We only brought in the ones where people were syncing and subscribed, and that's what the dealer news list is, right? So in this particular case, we've got 1,785 opted in text phone numbers available in this contact list for sending. You can click on a list, you can import a list, you can export a list with this now, right? And the reason why that we allow you to do this, and you might be thinking, well, you never allowed us to import a list before, Jason. Why do you do this now? The reason why is because you're registered as the 10DLC provider, which means that if you break the laws and you import a bunch of non-opted in lists, you're on the hook and you could be liable. And I think the TCPA Act is something like $3,000 a text message per message. So you could get fined $3,000 per message with somebody that does not opt in to your text club. So in the past, right, we refused to take that liability on. So we refused to allow you to opt in a list. But now, because you're registering the numbers to you and they're your numbers and you own them and they can all be backtracked to you, and you're 100% liable for it, we don't care. We'll let you do whatever you want to do. So if you want to opt in, or you want to import things, that's on you to do. Although we strongly recommend that you comply with the TCPA Act. So bottom line is we've got all of your numbers in here just like before. All right. Nothing's going to change with your keypad. All that stuff's going to synchronize. It's going to come in just like before, just a brand new interface. All right. If you want to send out a message, we've got several options available. I recommend